Today our topic of discussion is Introduction to Biology. This is the first module of the subject Biology for Engineers. This chapter mainly deals about uh, why you need to study biology, what is the importance of biology in our life, what are the aspects of biology you will cover when you will read about biology, and what is the importance of biology in our life. Okay, and why engineers are why this subject is incorporated in your syllabus. Okay, so basically this is the introductory chapter. This is the first module, and as we have completed almost all the modules, so we have by far understood what are the different aspects of biology and how they are governing our life, and why it is very much important to read about all these topics. Okay, so moving on to the first slide, that is the what is biology? Basically, this slide is defining what is the term biology means. Biology is the organized study of life and living things and their interactions among one another and the environment. Okay, so the biology mainly talks about study of life and living organisms. Anything living, anything which has life, which has life induced in them are and and the living organisms who are interacting among themselves are and the environment is known as the biology. Okay, so biology basically not only deals with individual living organism, but also it involves the interaction between different form of living organisms. Like you are reading about evolution, you are reading about genetics. Obviously interaction of male and female gametes are you are studying. So you are also reading about the interactions between the living organisms, as well as you are also studying about the characteristics of an individual. Okay, so this overall aspects describe what is the definition of the term biology. Now biology is a combination of bio and logos. Bio means life, you all know, and logos means study. Logo or logy is a term which means to study. This shows that biology means the study of life. Okay, so logy, you all know, when you are reading about any topic, the term and attached to any basic term, uh, if logy is attached, we can understand that it talks about the study of that particular subject. Okay, so this is all about your definition of the biology. Now, this is nothing but the different fields of biological studies. What are the different aspects of biological sciences involved? Okay, so basically, the main group of living things, that means the main living, when we are actually the whole of biology syllabus is divided into your five divisions, isn't it? So these five divisions is based on the what are the characteristics we are studying. So first one is the main group of living organism, living things. That means the main group means the main group of people who are living in the environment. So and on the basis of that, that is, there are three categories: bacteriology, microbiology, and zoology. So these three terms are very important because bacteriology mainly deals, studies about the bacteria. From the term itself you can understand. Microbiology mainly deals with all the microbes. It can be a virus like your coronavirus, then your any bacteria, then virus, then your protozoa, fungi, any microscopic organism will be, when studied, will come under the category of microbiology. Okay. Now zoology is nothing but the study of animals. So the study of animals involved mainly, you can understand the, there is a so large animal kingdom, you all know about it. So this whole animal kingdom when studied comes under the topic of zoology. Okay, now the second important division under the fields of biology is structure and function. So when you are studying about the structure and function of the living organism, living cell or tissue, then you are studying two subjects, that is physiology and histology. Okay, physiology is nothing but what are the different processes your body is undergoing through. All these things are studied under the physiology. Now, physiology section mainly suppose anatomy, microbiology, then your reproductive system, your cardiovascular system, that is the heart, the excretory system, that is the kidney, then your digestive system, that is the GI tract or stomach, then reproductive system like your sex organs. All these chapters, all these studies are coming under the physiology section. Okay, so when you're studying about any structure and functions, you are mainly dealing with the physiology of a particular aspects. Histology is nothing but when you are studying about the structure of chromosomes and cells. Okay, so basically when you are studying about any structure and function, that include the subjects physiology and histology. Okay, now changes and development. Changes and development means any changes or any evolutionary changes, any changes in the body of an organism. All these things are coming under the aspects of changes and development. Okay, now under this division there are three varieties: embryology, genetic, evolution. Embryology, genetic and evolution. So changes and development means mainly the any form of changes in the form of your developmental changes. Okay, what are the aspects we are considering here? We are mainly considering the aspects of any bodily changes or any evolutionary changes which is coming up in a particular organism, or any genetic changes, that means any suppose chromosomal changes or hereditary changes in a body, then that variety of particular characteristics is studied under the category of changes and development. So under the changes and development, there are three varieties coming: embryology, genetic and evolution. Embryology is nothing but the study of embryos. You all know we are developed from the embryo. The fusion of gametes leads to embryo, and from that tiny embryo, a adult human being is human. Not only human being, any type of animals are getting developed. Okay, so and genetic means genetics is very important. You all know that because when you are trying to understand how different type of characters are being inherited in your body from your parents, you need to know about genetics. Okay, and evolution is nothing but when changes are coming up after generation and generation within the particular species or genus. Okay, so that is evolution. Now another important part is the living things and their environment. I'm moving on to the last part later on. Living things and their environment, that means when you are studying about the living things, you also have to consider the environment also. Okay, you cannot only study about the living organism, you also have to study about the surroundings of a particular living organisms. It is quite obvious that when we are studying about thermodynamics, you can remember, we are studying about the system as well as the surroundings. You have to know about the system and also the surroundings, because system is very much related to the surroundings. Like the same way in our biology also, when you are reading about the living organisms, you need to know how is the place where the living organism is staying and how they are interacting among themselves. Okay, so in that aspect, the environment you have to consider. Now the environments, the chapters which is coming under, not a chapter, the subjects which are coming under this category are the ecology, environmental science, geography, biogeography. So what is happening? Ecology means study of ecosystem, your mother earth, land, air, atmosphere, everything is coming under ecology. Then environmental aspects means pollution, then your environmental controls, then your different type of greenhouse gases, ozone hole, climate change, global warming, everything is coming under the environmental aspects. These things are also coming with your biology, because until and unless you know the environment, you cannot know about the living organisms. Okay, science biogeography is nothing but you have to know about the geographical location of the different plants. Biogeography is nothing but the study of the presence of different living organisms in different parts of the world. Suppose you have to know what type of animals and plants are living in the Arctic Ocean, Antarctic Oceans, and different type of belts, I mean regional belts in the world, like your tundra region, like your evergreen region. You must have read in the geography. You in geography we are reading about the geographical locations and all, but in biogeography we are reading about what type of living organisms are staying in that particular place. Okay, so all these things are taken into consideration when we are reading about the environment. So now these are all science subjects basically. Okay, now I'm going to the engineering sections. That is the applied biology, the last one. That is the applied biology. That is the under which the subject biotechnology comes. So this biotechnology is totally different from the other four fields, because this is an applied field. That means we are applying something and designing something and getting some output. So we are this branch of science is mainly coming under the engineering section. Biotechnology is offered as a engineering course in engineering colleges as well as in universities also. So biotechnology is, if I talk about biotechnology, it will take a huge amount of time. I'm not going into the deep of it. It is basically nothing but the applied part of the biology. That means when you are designing something, when you are applying the concepts of biology to form an improved product or uh, improved type of an applications which is helpful to mankind. Okay, so what are the examples? Like your genetically modified crops, you all know about GMO crops. Then you all know about genetic engineering, DNA fingerprinting to know for forensic sciences, DNA fingerprinting are used. And then huge amount of vaccine designing. There are a couple of applications of biotechnology. I'm not going into the detail of it. If you're interested, if you may go through the net to know about it, but there are different aspects of 10 to 12 aspects of biotechnology, and it has huge application in our day-to-day life. Okay, this slide sums up about all the different type of fields of biology one can study if one try to pursue, and what are the different aspects of biology they are talking about, and what are the main things you need to know, or the aspects you are studying when you are studying biology. Okay, okay. Now before moving on to the next slide, I would like to say a few words. Like as we are studying biology from time immemorial, different inventions and different type of discoveries are being made, isn't it? So all these discoveries and inventions have started from when man tried to understand the different phenomena happening in the nature. Okay, scientists or people who are very much interested in these natural phenomena, they try to observe everything with their own concepts. Suppose uh, a flying bird, a flying bird, the concept of a bird flying in the environment is used by the scientists to design aeroplane and aircrafts, isn't it? So in this way, every natural thing is being incorporated into technology, and they are new things are being built up. So biology is very much crucial to know, to design something new. When like your aerospace engineering people read about how this different type of aircrafts, different type of flying your flying type of rockets or any type of uh, appliances which can float in the air, they need to understand the concept of how birds are flying, isn't it? When you try to understand the how the birds mechanism of flying is considered, then only you can understand how the aeroplanes and other things are designed. In the same way, we can talk about the human eye. Suppose on considering the structure of human eye, the photographic camera has been generated. Okay, so what happens? Uh, Basically, the biological things, the naturally available things of biology are being applied to design different type of appliances or different type of equipments which can improve our day-to-day life. Suppose human eye. From the concept of human eye, we have developed photographic camera. Now, if I compare the human eye with the photographic camera, we can see eye is a living organ. Obviously, for sight, but camera is an equipment to capture images. And eye is used to uses light cell to detect light. Camera uses a diaphragm to detect light and capture images. Stereoscopic vision of eyes allow three-dimensional images. we all uh, we all know that our eye is capable of visualizing three-dimensional images, isn't it? But our camera is nowadays there are many advanced cameras are available, but basically the camera are I mean they are capable of understanding the two dimensions only. Then the pupil adjusts the size while focusing. That means you are adjusting the pupil to when you are observing different sizes of images. But in case of camera, lens move to change focus. Lens are moved to change the focus. Okay. Then eyes have blind spots. Cameras do not have blind spots. So these are the basic difference between camera and your human eye. So basically, the concept of camera came from the human eye only. But you need to know the differences also to figure out what are the things are being considered. Okay. So uh, now the things we will be discussing is the why we learned biology. Okay. So what is the in the last slide we discussed what are the different fields of biology, but in this slide we will be just discussing about the okay. Now we'll be daily discussing about the why we learn biology. As man is a living organism, so the study of biology helps us to understand ourselves. So, but as the biology talks about our own life, so it is very much important to know our personal life, not personal life basically, our own self. Okay, for many years of you, the most interesting part of the biology may be the study of yourself. So you can know about yourself, you can know about your father, mother, sister, your brother. Then so the study is very interesting because you can know about yourself. You will also learn how one other living or things came on this earth. Yes, you can know about different type of discoveries. You can know about different type of inventions, how life has originated and how the process of evolution is going on. And another things we can know about different type of biology we can know different type of organisms in geology part, right? Like your microbiology, you can know different amount of microbes. So this different type of organisms we can also study about while we learn about the biology. Okay. Now, as we as our concept of learning biology or what are the different fields of biology got cleared, now I am moving on to the next portion of my lecture, that is discoveries of 18th centuries. Basically, what happens? Your the inventions related to the major inventions basically related to biology as well as different aspects of physics, chemistry and maths. Basically biology is such a subject in which all the three subjects are required: your physics, your chemistry and biology, sorry, mathematics. How first of all, I'm coming to mathematics. You have to know mathematics until unless you cannot understand biology, because in biology different type of statistical calculations are involved, different type of enumeration, different type of data are involved. So a good knowledge of mathematics is always required when you are talking about biology. Then your chemistry is always required because our body is a nothing but a chemical reactions is always going on inside our body. So to understand those chemical reactions, you need to know what are the different aspects of chemistry. Then your physics is another important thing. Without physics nothing works. Your body temperature goes down, goes above, all this temperature, pressure, then humidity related things affecting our body. Our suppose your food gets swelled up when you accumulate water in your cells. So this water accumulation is also based on physics concept. So every step or every pros and cons of our life are related to physics, chemistry and maths, so as biology. Okay, so now to understand these concepts we have to move on to the 18th century. So in the preceding slides or the upcoming slide we will be discussing about different discoveries of 18th century. The first discovery is the Brownian motion. The constant and random motion of small solid particles in fluids is known as the Brownian motion. So this Brownian motion is known to you people obviously, because I think you have read this in your first year physics chapter of your engineering. In that, Brownian motion means when randomly moving solid particles are kept in a container, they move about themselves zigzag motion. So this motion is known as Brownian motion. So this Movement provides evidence of molecular motion, provided prove the existence of particles that cannot be observed with normal microscope. That means what you cannot observe with microscope, that molecular motion are observed. So who has discovered? And basically this discovery has taken place in 18th century in 1827 by Robert Brown. Through the microscope, he observed the motion of pollen grains suspended in water. However, he was unable to provide an explanation for Brownian motion. So what happened? He observed in the pollen grains moving in the water. From that, he discovered the first observed the Brownian motion. Okay, so Brownian motion is very important. Now, this picture nothing but describes how Brownian motion is being. See, this is a container. In this, molecules are there. These are nothing but these are two characters. I mean, two categories: large particles and smaller particles. When larger particles are moving, when laser beams are being projected into the particles, the peaks are not that sharp. But when small particles are moving, very sharp peaks are observed when laser beams are being focused on them. So you can say this Brownian motion randomly occurs and more specifically occurs when the smaller particles are moving. Okay. Now the next important discovery is our first law of thermodynamics. I have already explained first law of thermodynamics in your previous chapter of metabolism. Uh, this discovery was mainly put forward by Robert Mayer in the year 1941, and the first law states that the total energy of a system plus its environment is constant. So they mainly postulated the conservation of energy concept. I have already explained that the sum total of energy is uh, never decreases. The total energy present in the environment is always constant. So the energy of the system and environment is equal to a constant. Okay, so this law declares that energy is neither created nor destroyed in the universe, and it allows to be exchanged between a system and its surroundings. Okay, so the law is neither created nor destroyed. That means you cannot destroy energy. So the total energy present in the environment is always constant. So this is all about your two important discoveries of the 18th century, like the Brownian motion and the laws of thermodynamics. With this, I will conclude my today's lecture. This is just an idea why the biology is introduced in your syllabus. What are the different aspects of biology? What are the different fields of biology studied? And why you need to know about the different type of discoveries occurring in the nature. Okay, so with this I conclude my today's lecture.